The gun, one of my favorite video game peripherals, and they've been around since the introduction of games themselves, with varied success. Some of the best and well-known include the Nintendo Zapper and Sega Phaser. These were single units widely known as light guns due to the way they function. But by the 16-bit era, they decided to change up the technology behind these guns to include multiple parts, like a sensor bar on top of your TV, and batteries. This brings us to the Menacer for the Sega Genesis, a modular style gun with multiple attachments. Here's mine. And though I'm missing the two scopes that would normally mount to the top of the gun, I am glad to say mine still works as intended. And I also happen to own all the games that were released on Cartridge here in Canada. All 2 of them. Let's get this hooked up and try it out. Let's see here. Sega Genesis on top of a TV with the sensor bar right next to it? That doesn't seem right. What else is here? Yada yada yada. Who reads instructions anyway? And this thing uses not 2, not 4, but 6. 6 AAA batteries, and this thing drains them in about half an hour. And don't even think about using rechargeables like the ones I got here, because these don't have enough voltage to get that thing working properly. That's right, you're gonna need alkalines, or any other battery that supports 1.5 volts exactly. I was missing the back of the battery compartment. Now, there's a big problem. That's not a small problem. But, as you can see there, what I did was my little ghetto fixes. Yeah, you feel menacing, man? Let's do this. So it turns out we can't use a modern television. Time to default back to my tube screen. And it works. And it works pretty well. I'm impressed. All right. So this first game we got is Pest Control, and I guess the idea is just to keep the roaches? I think they're roaches away from the pizza. Doesn't seem too difficult. We'll probably get harder later, but I noticed one issue with this game. It's using the same soundtrack as the title screen. I mean, I'm already kind of angry, and I hope not all the games are like this, but let's see how far I get in this one anyway. So I made it to level 5. There's not much to say about this one, and the audio is now annoying me. Now let's try Space Station Defender. Now the goal of this one is to shoot the aliens as they come up. You can only shoot them once their teleporter, elevator, whatever it is, opens. And you keep your gun charged by pointing at power on the bottom of the screen. Again, there is not much to say about this one. It's another basic arcade game where you're going for the high score. There's no real objective here or anything like that. And yeah, have fun. By the 5th level, the background changes, turns pink. And by the 9th stage, it cycles right back to the original one. Again, they are getting faster, but really I don't even find this game very difficult. And by the time I reached level 13, I just called it quits as, yeah, it's all about a high score. It's your basic arcade game. So how about we reset and try another game. So now we're gonna try Whack Ball. This game is pretty simple. You don't aim, you don't shoot, you just move around this ball and play Breakout. Actually, this game isn't too bad for what it is. I mean, it's Breakout. You have to change all the colors to move on to the next level. There's different types of power-ups, multi-ball. There's some power-ups that actually... Can I talk? Thank you. There's some power-ups that actually hurt you, and as you go to later stages, the background changes, and as you can see here, there's a hole now, and if the ball goes into that hole, I lose a life. I lose 3 lives, and it's game over. I just got another power-up there, which gave me extra points. Let's play this one for a little bit longer. It's really not bad. It really reminds me of one of the games found with the Power Glove. Just a lot better than Glove Ball. One thing I will say is these backgrounds really hurt my eyes. I don't know what they were thinking, and another complaint is, again, it's using the same theme as the main menu. Which at this point is droning in my head. So as you can see here, oh, lost myself life there. But as you can see here, the stages change. I actually got myself the opposite of a power-up, where it made my paddle, I guess you can call it, much smaller and much more difficult to hit the ball. To be honest with you, I am not very good at this game. It seems easy, and I guess it is. Also, the gap in the stage moves now, which is pretty cool. And yeah, there isn't too much more to say other than the sounds are really annoying, the backgrounds hurt my eyes, and I wish they at least spent a little more time on this one. really don't know what happened there. My paddle just disappeared for a second. Lost one life, lost another one right after. Game over, that's that. Let's move on to the next game. Rockman Zone. And already I'm annoyed because, yet again, it's using the title theme. Anyway, this game has a slowly scrolling map with a bunch of windows, and you got innocent people who show up as cutouts in the windows. Don't shoot them, shoot the bad guys. But don't think about it too hard, because the game yells, "Shoot!" every time a bad guy shows up on the screen. So just listen for shoot, shoot the bad guy. I made it to level 14 on this one. Look at that great score on the bottom, and by this point it was damn near impossible to get them. 2 or 3 cutouts would show up at the exact same time with very, very little time to react. And that's game over. Next game. Frontline. So this game is probably the only one out of the 6 to use one of the additional buttons on the Menacer controller. And what that does is, at the bottom of the screen, you see you have AA and AT, anti-air and anti-tank missiles. And by pushing one of the buttons on the front of the controller, you can shoot those. And they end up being one-hit kill. At the start of every round, you get 10. And the rounds really don't last long. Again, you hear the same title music for this game as well. It's just getting annoying at this point, so I really don't want to spend too much time on this game because that music is just droning in my head at this point. By the way, I am not turning down the volume. This game is just overloaded with sound effects apparently, to the point where the machine gun just kind of fades away once in a while. And that's game over. Thank God. Now, I was actually saving this game for last. Ready Aim Tomatoes. This game is based on, and also made by the developers of, one of the best Sega Genesis games, ToeJam and Earl. And as you can hear, we're already off to a good start with the soundtrack from ToeJam and Earl blasting through that beautiful Genesis sound chip. This game does have a little bit more to talk about. There's a good enemy variety. The enemies actually do some different things. There's bombs you can shoot. There's signposts partway through the level that actually allow you to return to a previous spot. The point of the game is to get a high enough score in order to proceed. Earl, over there on the bottom left of the screen, will tell you exactly how much points you need in order to move on to the next level. And the music changes again for the second level. Again, this game isn't half bad. And moving into level 3 again. New music and the new background. This game really tries harder than any other of the games on this card. Got myself a machine gun power up there. Also, if you're wondering why is it tomatoes, well, tomatoes are the main weapon in Toe Jam and Earl. This game really stays true to the theme of Toe Jam and Earl. Skipping forward to level 10, we're introduced to a new power-up. There's clocks that come by that will slow down time. Wouldn't be much useful in the earlier levels, but when you get to these levels, it's actually pretty useful. Unfortunately, it didn't save me there, and we get to enjoy this really neat death animation of Toe Jam. Bummer. And that's about it for the Menacer 6-game cartridge. We're going to be moving over to Terminator 2, the arcade game, next. Here I am in post, and I hate to do this, but I'm going to have to split this up into 2 videos. A few different things happened. One, Terminator 2 is a pretty large game. I was playing it with my controller because the other thing that happened is the batteries died on the Menacer. That's right, I'm going to need to find myself some more AAA batteries. But yeah, Terminator 2 in itself is a pretty large game, and I figure it deserves its own video front to back. Another thing is, I want to see if I could get my hands on a few other of the games that support the Menacer. Now, I have both the games that were released on cartridge. There was one more game that was released on the Sega channel, but that was only in the US. It was never here in Canada. And it was released on cartridge in Europe, but don't have myself a European Genesis. So these are the only 2 games I was able to get my hands on. As for the Sega CD-based games, well, I currently don't own a Sega CD. I guess I'm still waiting for Nintendo to make one. But I am going to try and get a hold of a Sega CD and the other games as well. Corpse Killer, the Digital Pictures games, they all support the Menacer, and I currently never tried those games myself, and I want to play them. So be sure to subscribe and keep an eye out because those videos are coming. But for now, I hope you enjoyed the Menacer video. Took me a while to make this one, had a lot of fun.